We're here in downtown Gatlinburg on the Parkway, and we're in front of one of the oldest hotels in Gatlinburg. And I'm here with George Hawkins. He's the director of our special events, and he's going to tell us about Heritage Festival and something special about the Gatlinburg Inn. George, thanks for being with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I can't wait to tell you about what's going on.
Well, tell us about the Heritage Festival first of all.
The Heritage Festival starts August the 15th and runs through August the 30th. We have approximately 70 demonstrations during that time frame in the craft community, in the national park. At nighttime, we have music on the sidewalks down here. We have a tour of this wonderful facility of this hotel, which has never been done before. Miss Mapleson herself will probably be doing some of the tours.
Well, tell us about the Gatlinburg Inn. And I know a lot of people have seen it, but they might not know much of the history about it.
Well, Mike, it's the second oldest hotel in Gatlinburg today. It's preserved in its pristine state. The furniture looks just like it did when they put it in. Many people have stayed. Many movie stars have stayed here. Rocky Top, the song Rocky Top was written here. That room is. We'll be touring that room. We'll be touring all the way from the basement to the top of this wonderful, splendid hotel right here on the street. And the Riverside Hotel is a little bit older. It's right down the street, but this one is a true jewel.
George, tell us more about some of the demonstrations that'll be going out in the craft tour.
Well, we have broom making, pottery making. We have a lot of people coming in. There'll be soap making, candle making, all types of different arts and crafts are going to be going on out there. We're in the process of printing a brochure right now that will be distributed to all the welcome centers in Tennessee, to all of the welcome centers in Gatlinburg. We're constructing a log cabin right across from Hard Rock and out across from Battle Supermarket. That will be our two information stations where you can stop and pick up a brochure, and it'll tell you every day what's going on during the day. Then we have the tours up in the national park of some of the historical sites up there. There will be a tour of the Gatlinburg Motor Inn here each day for 15 days. So we're excited about that. There's also going to be tours of the Buckhorn Inn, some nature walks out there. We have different professors that will be doing talks out there. Heritage food at Miles Kitchen. So there's just a lot of fun things that are going to be going on that last 2 weeks in August.
Well, I know last year was like a lot of fun, and for people that have never made it out to the Glades before, they had an opportunity to see the jewel that we have here.
Well, and oddly enough, people say, well, I didn't know this was here. So we're going to really showcase on that. We are combining our efforts with Pigeon Forge this year. They have Celebrate Freedom Festival, and we have the Heritage Festival. So we're taking a little extra advertising money to encourage people to come at a good time of year. Kids have gone back to school. I think you'll see a lot of retired people come in at this time because they have discretionary money. They like one-of-a-kind items. You know, they like the crafts. I think the crafters will do real well. I'm real excited. I think it's going to go over real well.
Well, George, good luck, and if people want to find out more about it, how can they do that?
They can call our office of special events at 436-0500, and we'll be happy to give them all the information. We do have a hotline for the people that are going to be doing demonstrations. It's 430-1000. They can call that number or call our office, and we'll get the information to the latecomers that are not able to be in the brochure.
Tell me some history about the Gatlinburg Inn.
Well, my husband built it, and he just, I'll tell you about him first. He graduated from high school at LMU, Lincoln Memorial University, and he worked in food up there. And then he worked in food when he went to the University of Tennessee. He worked at Byerly's, which was on the campus. And the Big Depression hit 3 months short of his graduation, and he and everybody else left because there wasn't any money. He came home and asked his grandfather Ogle, Ephraim Ogle, who had the store, could he please build a restaurant on his property down the street, and he let him do that. That was his first business. And then in the late 30s, he wanted to build a hotel, and his daddy let him build here. His daddy was growing corn and potatoes here. He dug the potatoes and gathered the corn and got him a team of mules and a scoop. There wasn't any motorized equipment then, and dug the basement. Some of those scoop marks are still in the front basement, and built this first section, 8 bedrooms and owner's apartment in 1937. And then in 1938, the next wing was built, including the dining room. And in 1940, the last was built, and it was not changed from 1940 until 1961, when we changed the roof line and put the elevator in.
Now, I know there's been so many famous people that have stayed here, and the song, which is probably one of Tennessee's favorite songs, Rocky Top, was written here. Would you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Well, Boudleaux and Felice Bryant stayed with us regularly for about 20 years. They wrote Rocky Top, and then they established their own home in Gatlinburg and were in it about 4 years, and Boudleaux died. And then, of course, Felice died this spring. But they used to come in the winter when we were closed, and we just give them a key to the front door, and they went and come as they pleased.
Now, there was a famous basketball player I know that stayed here several times, Pete Maravich. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, Pete was, he came with his children, and he was here 3 months with his little family before he died. And Pete was rough as a cob when he was young. I don't know if you ever read his book or not, but he was rough.
I haven't.
Into everything. But he had accepted Christ before he came the last time, and I've never seen such a change in a boy in my life. His whole being was changed.
Mrs. Maples, for the Heritage Festival, you're allowing the Special Events Department basically to have tours of your hotel. Give me just a little example of what you would show them if you toured the hotel.
This is the Ann's 66th year, and practically all of our rooms have part or all the original maple furniture, and it's never been refinished. Some of it doesn't have a scar on it. It's a compliment to the kind of people we've kept and to our employees, because they have had taken pride in it, and also it was good to start with. And then I would show them our basement, because when it was first built, there was a whole battery of rooms built down there for servants, uniformed chauffeurs, and personal maids. They were black, and they didn't stay where the white folks stayed in those days. They'd drive up in their limousines with those servants. Of course, back then only the wealthy traveled. Mm-hmm. But those rooms now we use as storage, and we took 2 of them and made our laundry. We do our own laundry. And my husband took 2 of them and made an exercise room and a steam room. Of course, we use that for storage now.
Mm-hmm. If you don't mind, would you tell the story about the paving of Laurel Falls?
Oh, I don't mind that. George Hartzog was director of all national parks, and he and Helen were close friends because George had been assistant to the superintendent here, and the National Park Service Advisory Board met in Gatlinburg one time, and Helen invited me to go on. They were going to take the ladies in the group on a tour of the portions of the park, and she invited me to go. And we were sitting in the back seat of the car, and the little lady in front, I don't even remember her name, but she was taking a text on the fact that anybody would pave a trail in the Smokies and pale a driveway in the Smokies. She had reference to the Cherokee Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail. Mm-hmm. Well, I was sitting back there just itching to say something, and Helen was nudging me. And I had to say it. I just leaned over after the little woman had her say and touched her on the shoulder, and I said, "Excuse me," but I said, "Have you ever thought about people in wheelchairs who wouldn't be able to see that if they weren't paved?" Well, she said, "No, I hadn't thought about that." But anyway, that's what it was.
I know a lot of people have had an opportunity to see a beautiful waterfall.
See it. They couldn't see what we see. And also the trail to Kleeman's Dome. See, they can go all the way to the top of that tower in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody pushes them.
Well, Mrs. Maple, thank you so much for your time, and I'm definitely going to come back and take a tour when you give the tours.
I always tell people we're old, but we're nice.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.